For 18 years, I despised that man. Every single morning, 5 a.m. sharp, his hand would find my shoulder in the dark. My bed was warm. The house was silent. The world outside my window was still asleep. And I hated him for tearing me away from my dreams. I'd hear his footsteps coming down the hall, steady, unrelenting, and I'd bury myself deeper under the covers, hoping he'd give up. He never did. He'd stand there, a quiet silhouette in the doorway, until I dragged myself out of bed. And in my head, I'd count the days until I could leave, until I could sleep until noon, until I could escape what felt like his prison of discipline. 2 coffee mugs every morning. One for him, already half empty by the time I stumbled into the kitchen. One for me, steaming and untouched. He'd sit at the table reading the paper. I'd stare at the wall. The silence between us was heavier than any words. I started crossing days off the calendar, big, angry red X's. Days until college, 180, then 120, then 60. I saved money in an envelope labeled Escape in block letters. Every dollar felt like a step toward freedom. I'd lie in bed at night and imagine a life where no one shook me awake, where mornings were mine, where I could choose comfort. One morning I wrote, "I hate 5 a.m. over and over in my notebook until the pencil tore through the paper. I left it open on the kitchen table, a silent protest. He saw it. He didn't say a word. He just poured my coffee like he always did and pushed the mug toward my empty chair. Sometimes I'd catch him watching me from the hallway. Not with anger, not with frustration, with something that looked like sadness. But I was too angry to understand. Too busy counting down. Too busy planning my escape from the man who loved me enough to be hated. Then, the shaking stopped. One morning, there was no hand on my shoulder, no smell of coffee from the kitchen, just silence, and a box on the dining room table. Inside, his watch, forever frozen at 5 o'clock, his wedding ring, and a leather-bound journal, worn at the edges, held shut by a simple elastic band. My hands shook as I opened it. The first page. Day 1. Michael fought me today, called me cruel. One day he'll understand. I turned another page, and another. Month 6. He woke before the alarm this morning, stubbornness turning into strength. Year 4. Found him reading before school. The curiosity is there. Nurture it. Year 10. He led his team today. The man is emerging. Keep going. And then, the final entry, written in a shaky, weak hand. Yesterday, he gave his first big presentation, commanded the room, owned his space. Every 5 a.m., every silent morning, every untouched coffee mug was worth it. My work is done. I sat there as the sun rose, the same sun we'd watched together in silence for 18 years. And it felt like my heart had been ripped out and replaced with something heavier, something true. He wasn't punishing me. He was forging me. Every early morning was a strike of the hammer. Every groan of protest, the fire tempering the steel. Every moment I hated him, he absorbed it so I could become someone unbreakable. He knew something I didn't. Life doesn't test you when you're ready. It ambushes you when you're soft. And he was making sure I'd never be soft. He was inoculating me against mediocrity, vaccinating me against excuses. He understood the world has 2 time zones. Reactor time, when everyone's awake, emails are flying, demands are screaming, and you're just putting out fires. And creator time, those sacred, silent hours before the world logs on, where ideas are born, where discipline becomes destiny, where destinies are forged without an audience. He wasn't giving me a schedule. He was giving me a time machine. Now I stand at my son's door. The hallway clock glows 5:59 a.m. My hand rises to knock, and I finally feel the weight he carried. This isn't cruelty. This is love in its most armored form. Love that's willing to be the villain in someone's story so they can be the hero in their own. Love that plants trees knowing you'll never sit in their shade. Love that builds foundations you'll never live to see. My son opens his eyes. And I don't say, wake up because I said so. I say, we don't wake up early to lose sleep. We wake up early to gain time. Time to build something in the quiet that the noise can never take away. The 5 a.m. secret was never about the time. It was about who you become in the quiet before the world tells you who you should be. It was about building calluses on your soul before life breaks your bones. Discipline isn't punishment for being bad. It's the price of admission for being extraordinary. And love isn't always soft whispers and easy mornings. Sometimes, love is a hand shaking you awake in the dark. Sometimes, love is being misunderstood for 18 years. Sometimes, love is planting seeds in concrete and trusting they'll grow roots strong enough to break it. I used to think 5 a.m. was a punishment. Now I know it was his love letter to my future. Written in darkness, delivered at dawn, paid for with 6,570 mornings of being the villain in my story, so he could be the hero in one he'd never live to see. The greatest men don't leave their children money. They leave them unshakable character, forged in the quiet hours when the rest of the world is asleep. Because discipline isn't inherited, it's gifted. And the gift isn't the waking up, it's who you've become by the time the sun rises.